Last year, the mayor, in an unprecedented way, organized a formal structure to all of this when he created the multi-agency gang unit. In a few minutes, he will tell you about it. I believe that this was very important because it will provide continuity to these arrangements and will serve as a model to future generations of leaders in New Orleans. More important, the multi-agency gang unit allowed our various agencies to provide full-time manpower to these multi-agency investigations, which are time-consuming and complex. This investment in our safety and our future is already paying dividends. Late yesterday afternoon, in this very room, the Orleans Parish Grand Jury returned a 51-count indictment against 15 very violent criminals. This indictment against the 110ers street gang is, to my knowledge, the largest and most sweeping state court gang indictment in the history of New Orleans. As detailed in the indictment, the 110ers, which is an umbrella organization of a collection of smaller street gangs that operated mainly in the 10th and the 11th wards of the city of New Orleans, are responsible for 15 murders from 2008 to the present, including the very tragic murder of young Brianna Allen and Shawana Pierce. 10 of these murders are listed as substantive counts in the indictments, and the other 4 are listed as overt acts in furtherance of the gang's criminal enterprise. The investigation began late in the summer of 2012 as a cooperative effort between the District Attorney's Office and the New Orleans Police Department Homicide Unit. It grew out of investigations of several isolated incidents of violent crimes in the 10th and the 11th wards. The investigation followed the formation of the multi-agency gang unit until November, when several law enforcement agencies were given the ability to devote full-time manpower to this as well as other street gang investigations. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, the Orleans Parish criminal justice system has reached a tipping point. You are witnessing a rebirth of that system. It is sometimes difficult for ordinary citizens to see, but the criminal element in this city is recognizing it. The old street paradigm of safety in numbers is over. The message to these groups is simple, and I sincerely hope that each person standing behind me reiterates it. We are coming after you, and we will not be stopped. And to those who have made the very those who have made the very unwise decision to attempt to aid and abet these criminals, to those who lie, to those who hide evidence and obstruct justice, to the enablers of this violence, we will pursue you equally as hard as the criminals you are attempting to protect. We are taking our streets back for the law-abiding citizens of this community. And we will not discriminate between the violent criminal and their illegal support structure. Before I hand it over to the mayor, I would like to add one thing. While these racketeering cases are clearly more complex and more difficult to prosecute, I believe that they will allow the jurors of this community the opportunity to see a more complete picture of the scope of a defendant's criminal conduct. My office will continue to employ innovative prosecutorial techniques to fight the violence on our streets. And these cases will be difficult for every branch of the criminal justice system. But I will expect every piece of this system to rise to the occasion and promptly move these cases towards resolution. Mr. Mayor, I turn it over to you, but again, I want to sincerely thank you for your leadership in forming this unit.
Thank you,
Mayor Landry.
Leon, thank you very much for those kind words, and I want to thank everybody who is standing behind us. The DA has read all of the names, and I want to do it again, except to put an exclamation point on the very fact that you are saying federal, state, and local law enforcement stand together as one. And this is something that we have been working on for a very long time. In my State of the Union speech the other day, State of the City speech, I said that we are going to stop the culture of death on the streets of New Orleans, and we're going to change it into a culture of life. And we have created the NOLA for Life strategy going forward. The first and the most important element of that is we have to stop the shooting. And we have sent a very clear message, both in word and now in deed, that we are coming after the 650 individuals in this city that continue to wreak havoc and have no respect for life. That if they do not choose to take the opportunity to have an opportunity for a job or an education and a training, we are going to bring the force of law on them. The rules of engagement in this city as it relates to violent criminals has changed. This group of people is together. We're focused together, we're working together, we talk to each other all the time, we design strategies, and then we implement them. And the physical manifestation of that is the multi-agency gang unit. This is something that is now being replicated across the country, all right? But it basically is the federal government, state government, and local government, all of the agencies on the federal level, FBI, ATF, DEA, U.S. Marshal's Office, on the state level, the Department of Corrections, the Department of Probations, on the city level, the DA, the police department, and all of the other individuals involved have come together in something called the multi-agency gang unit, where we talk together, we share information, we design strategies, and then we get after it. And here is a perfect example of how the new way of being is going to be. Instead of the DA choosing to prosecute an individual, one person for one crime, what the DA has done, and Mr. District Attorney, thank you so much for taking this ball and running with it, is basically indicting folks as members of groups and as conspiracies. Because what we have found is it's not just a one-off. It is a group of people that for years and years and years have terrorized the streets of New Orleans, and at least in this instance with the 110ers, are allegedly responsible for over 15 deaths, including 5-year-old Brianna Allen and Shawana Pierce, who left young boys here. I spoke to this in the State of the City address the other day. I told you there was more to come. This is an example of what that more looks like, and ladies and gentlemen, this is just the beginning. So on behalf of the people of the City of New Orleans, I want to again call the community into purpose and communion on this issue, because we need you to make this happen. We need witnesses, and we need you to know that we're serious about it. And as the DA alluded to, and I will say this clearly, we need the judges of criminal district court on board, helping us mete out justice and fairness in a way that makes sense and is just for the entire community, and to help us move this new method of prosecution forward in a very aggressive way. The people of New Orleans expect that. And as mayor of the City of New Orleans, I expect it. And I think that there's no greater homage that we can pay to the people that have been taken for us is to be more aggressive and to be on it, just like we said. We mean what we say. If you continue to commit crimes in this city, we are coming after you, and we are not going to stop until the city is safe. Thank you all so very much, and now I'd like to call up Chief Servais.
Thank you, Mayor and Mr. District Attorney, and all of our law enforcement partners here. We truly are a team, and that is the winning combination to make New Orleans safe. A team of law enforcement professionals, a team of city administration officials, a team of council representatives who all have one point, and that point is to make New Orleans safe. May 29th last year was a beautiful afternoon in the city of New Orleans. A birthday party was shattered by the cruel, cowardly behavior of who we now have learned to be members of the 110 gang. Just that short afternoon, we recognized how dangerous and fragile things can be when gangs operate without any fear. Our homicide detectives and intelligence detectives immediately began working that case in the summer of 2012. Working closely with the district attorney's office, it became clear. It became crystal clear that this group was larger than what we had originally thought. In November of 2012, when the multi-agency gang unit was stood up, they were able to partner with and take the work that had already been done by so many talented people in the New Orleans Police Department, so many talented people in the DA's office. Names such as Sergeant Nick Gurnan, Detective Stephen Keller, Detective Ryan Veit of Homicide, and most importantly, Assistant District Attorney Alex Calanda, who worked closely from the summer of 2012 through the winter, through the spring, to bring us to where we are today. This morning, members of the New Orleans Police Department, Special Operations Division, partnered with the Louisiana State Police, our multi-agency gang unit, and our street gang unit, including homicide, ATF, and FBI agents, served multiple warrants in the city of New Orleans to attempt to locate 5 of the 15 persons indicted who were still at large. 10 of the persons indicted are in custody. In this morning's effort, we did take into custody 3 persons, Damon Sandifer, Antonio Big Rico Johnson, and Charles Lewis, were all captured this morning peacefully, and weapons and evidence was recovered. Still wanted by the police, and we'll get pictures out in a little bit, still wanted are Jahan Jones and Joshua Pittman. Make no mistake about it. 4 people will be charged in the brutal, senseless, and cowardly death of Brianna Allen and Shawana Pierce. Those persons acted in a way that we hope will provide them decades of time in the prison system of Louisiana. But we have a warning, an announcement. Anybody who is aware of this gang, who chooses to not come forward and work with us, and you are a party to that gang, we can guarantee you, you will be arrested and you will be prosecuted. And today's indictment of 15 people demonstrates unwaveringly that if you fail to cooperate, if you fail to come forward, we know who you are. Do the right thing. Come into the DA's office and provide information to assist us in closing up this terrible, terrible event. In total, 15 subjects were indicted, 11 murders charged as separate counts. This will be 9 new murder clearances for the New Orleans Police Department. 51 total counts, 89 overt acts to commit racketeering and other charges. Charged with the death of Brianna Allen, charged with the death of Brianna Allen and Shawana Pierce is Sam Newman, Troy Harden, Stanton Gilbert. These people will be held accountable. There is no question about it. I'm incredibly proud of the men and women of the New Orleans Police Department who fight every day, quietly and behind the scenes, to make these big differences with our partners that we stand here with today. And one of our most effective partners is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And I'd like to ask Mike Anderson, the local agent in charge, to come up.
Thank you, Chief. I'd like to put a finer point on the multi-agency gang unit. What I think distinguishes this unit from many task forces and strike forces throughout the country, which is what has really drawn the FBI to its full commitment to the MAG, is the fact that at the table you've got federal prosecutors and state prosecutors deciding and helping prioritize the investigations of all of our partners. Almost everyone that's standing before you here today was just at a meeting at the office of the ATF where the MAG unit is currently housed, and we strategized and we discussed not only this case, but cases to come, and prioritizing resources and surging resources and getting more intel support and tactical support and deciding on how we're going to take a long-term investigation versus a shorter-term investigation and blending all of those efforts so it's completely coordinated and completely deconflicted, so we're not stepping all over each other like there's been some issues in the past. So we are one fight, one mission with this group, and that's why the FBI will continue to pledge its full support of the MAG, be an active member, be a leader in the MAG, and continue to partner with both state and federal prosecutions. And that's what I'd also like to leave you with. This is a state prosecution, but folks need to know the FBI is all in on state and federal prosecutions. We're not only going to work with the U.S. Attorney's Office, but with the DA's office to take the most violent offenders off the streets. So with that, I will turn it over to Sheriff Marlon Guzman.
Thanks. On behalf of the Sheriff's Office, I also want to thank the District Attorney and the Mayor. The Sheriff's Office is a part of the multi-agency gang unit. Colonel Mike Laughlin, who heads up our Special Operations Division, was instrumental, along with his staff, in the intelligence gathering, the apprehension, as well as the detention of those individuals that are mentioned in this indictment. We're about keeping the city safe. Public safety is our top priority, and that's where we want to be. With that, I'm going to ask Special Agent Shepard of the DEA to come up.
Mr. Mayor, District Attorney, I want to thank you for having me here today. I want to focus on something we've all been focusing on just a little bit more. When everybody that's up here right now, we all raise our right hand and we swear to serve and protect the community. But I take that in a different way. I say, that means we got our hand up. You know, when you were in school, they would say, if you got an answer, you know the answer, or you think you know the answer, raise your hand. So I want the community to know. I think we have the right answer. You got good people doing good work, and we have our hand up. So if you need us, we're here. We're here to protect and serve the people of New Orleans.